be mine, says Hashem.
When I come with my clothes, they shall be mine.
They shall be mine.
They shall be mine.
They shall be mine. They that fear Hashem shall be mine. They shall be mine, says Hashem. When I make up my Jews, they shall be mine, says Hashem.
When I come with my clothes, they shall be mine.
They shall be mine.
They shall be mine.
They shall be mine. They that fear Hashem shall be mine.
They shall be.
They shall be
Mine,
says
says
Hashem.
Hashem. When I make up my Jews, they shall be mine.
Says Hashem.
When I come with my clothes, they shall be mine.
They shall be mine.
They shall be mine.
They shall be mine. They that fear Hashem shall be mine.
Welcome to Hebrew Ethics, Schematical Life. First and foremost, we want to ask Christians when they read in Revelation chapter 5, verse 5, that Jesus, who is recorded there, was of the tribe of the Lion of Judah. What does that mean? The Lion of the tribe of Judah. And when you are a Christian, what other identity other than your name or title would you have? Today I want to look at this cultural identity, a natural law that exists and that was founded in ancient times by one of the greatest and wisest people to ever walk the earth. I would like to begin by saying that the ancient black Egyptians are recorded to have stated and told the Greeks and other Europeans that them, the ancient black Egyptians, were the most ancient of the people to appear on the earth along the banks of the river Nile. And they say that they appeared on those banks before the Creator had finished his work of creation. And therefore they call themselves as Enapetwa beings. So we want to turn to them and to look at them, and they say one of the greatest things that they bestowed on the original Hebrews was this cultural thing that should run along and within these people. Hence you find that when Jesus is inferred in Revelation 5 verse 5, he is associated with this phenomena of the lion of the tribe of Judah, which is symbolized today by the Sphinx in ancient Egypt, which is a lion with a human head, and the human head is an Africoid or Negroid or black person. It's a head with a full developed lips and a very sitting nose. So we want to look at this and say that if you are following a Hebrew religion, or you are a Jew, whether you're white, yellow, or any other color, and you don't have this cultural identity, you are a fake. Because this cultural identity that I'm going to reveal today is found and explained in the Torah in Genesis chapter 49. And it is also found and fully developed in ancient Egypt. I just want to come back and tie it with ancient Egypt, because I find that other scholars and many other thinkers want to put a scissors and cut that height and put a hiatus between them, but they can't, because it's very impossible. I've already shown you the Sphinx and the lion issue, that it is connected. I will also show various other cultural identities. It is the only cultural identity that supersedes DNA tests, that supersedes even charts that we have of tribal charts, of genealogical charts, to identify an individual as an ancient Egyptian, or an individual as an ancient Hebrew, an individual ancient original black person. If you don't have this cultural identity, you have lost it somewhere, and you have deliberately decided to lose it somewhere. It is fortunate, and it is my pleasure today to be joyous and to be happy that I said this on national television in Zimbabwe, Southern Africa, and it came out, and many people identified themselves and found themselves written in books, written in scriptures, and dominating ancient cultural heritages. The purpose of this cultural identity is that it identifies and connects our actions and loyalty to the past, and maps our current life, and gives us the possibility of success tomorrow. If we don't have it, we are lost. That's why the slaves that were taken from Africa had their names cut out, and they were given new names because they became commodities and the goods of trade. So this cultural identity, as I have said, is found in Genesis chapter 49. And the question that arises is that when it is found in Genesis 49, it is already being introduced, reintroduced when it was already existing and when it was already ancient. That is one thing that we must accept and understand. Therefore, when you want to ask, what is this cultural identity that I am speaking about and that I am saying? It is called totemism. And the totemism is goes beyond sociological identity. It goes beyond a psychological identity. It goes beyond anything that we can think of, right into the core of ancient times, because it is the one that was bound with a hero cult, or one that was bound with a founder or the originator of our race. And the originator of our race, according to the Bible, according to the Torah, who is Adam, had all the animals and all the plant life and all the rivers around him, and he named those animals, which means he associated his life with totemism. Therefore, if you don't have a totem, and surely you don't have a totem, you are either an alien or you have lost it somewhere. So, totem or totemism, it is that connection that gives us the claim to the ancient past along the banks of the river Nile, where Eden was, if we are to follow the biblical or the Torah teaching. So when you go to Genesis chapter 49, you'll find that the first man named there, Reuben, was given a totem of water, because Jacob says, Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might, and the first fruit of my strength, preeminent in pride and preeminent in power, unstable as water. Now, when he says Reuben is unstable as water, we will look at the people that are associated with water today. And these are the Mlambos, these are the Mshangas, these are Omazibuko, Ontini, Fish, Ongwenya, Mvu, or hippopotamus. These people are water connected, animals that are connected with water, and the water itself per se, and the rivers like Save and Haapi, which is Nile. These people in Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 66, when Moses was expanding on some of these, he said, let their name not be few. So these people, that is the people who are so massive, who are so huge, found all over Southern Africa. These are the same people today being divided by so-called Andebeles, Shonas, Changan, by that ignorance which has been put in us by Europeans, where we think that Ngwenya is different from Muyambo or Hobe or Tini. Yet we are the same people with our totemic hero who was Reuben. So when he said Reuben, he said, you shall not be preeminent, which means Reuben, that has come out of me. I am no longer the firstborn. He was no longer the firstborn. When you go into ancient Egypt, you find the archetype now of this totemic symbol. You find that the prominent was the crocodile, the fish, and the river Nile. And then you also find that there was the Nile on earth and the Nile River above in the sky. So that was the totem given to the Reubenite. So if you are a Hebrew, you can never fail to have a totem. This is the first totem that I have gone to. And now we go to the next born, the two people who were given one totem, the Simeonites and the Levites. The Simeonites and Levites, I would like to simply quickly say, these are the Moyos on Komo. Because when you read the totem there, when you read the explanation, it says, Simeon and Levi are brothers. Weapons of violence are their sword. Oh, my soul, come not into their counsel. That term soul is moyo. Not depicted by their physical heart, but also the soul, which is moyo. It says, oh, my spirit is doubling again, should not come into their company. And he says, for in their anger they slay men, and in their wantonness they hamstring oxen. So laba ngabosithole nkomo moyo vumabaranta barozi. These are the Levites. This is clear because when you look at Simon and Levi, they were given in Deuteronomy 33 verse 8, they were given the Urim and Thummim, which means they dominate in the healing art. They dominate in the spiritual sacrifices. And you would also find that why they should dominate in those spiritual phenomenon is that most of the Levites, or Malevi, or Malawi, or Malevi, they formed the core sacrificing team of the ancient Hebrews. And also, they also carry Egyptian names. There is no Levite who has no Egyptian name. All the Levites carry Egyptian name. The term says Levi or Lev or Rozi is an Egyptian term. You also find that other Levites like Hophni, like Hura, who is Horas, like Merari, who is Morara, like Mushi, like Mosi, like Iji, the son of Korah. Korah means faith, or from the faith that they used to sacrifice. And Iji is Osiris. And these are souls, these are hamsters, they are connected with the cow. We come to one of the most prominent one, who is Phineas. His name only Phineas means fairness, means the black one or the Nubian. So their totem I have given you, their totem was the cow. Their totem was an oxen, mustole. And their role was that they were priests and leaders. And they were not supposed to be political leaders. Hence the destruction of Great Zimbabwe and the destruction of Jerusalem. It is only when they usurped political power. Political power belonged to the Lion of Judah. Political power belonged to the Jews, who are the descendants of Judah. And it says, and speaking of them, in verse 8 says, Judah, your brother shall praise you. Yes, today he is the one who is praised, who is taught often. And he says, Judah is the lion's well, which means it's the lion. I've already explained that. That is his totem. The name is the Sphinx. Is found there in the cat family. He has kingship and the warrior. So, when we go further, quickly to rush through, we find that Issachar is a donkey. He's a donkey in the sense that he's Mutube. That's his totem. And this same totem is the same totem of the original. These are the people found in the most ancient continent, which is Africa. And now we come to Naphtali, who is given his totem hind let loose. And this is a gazelle. You see, this is a gazelle. What is a gazelle? These Naphtalians, Mabo Mof, Mopof, Eland, ito, noro, die. They are also Mokumbo Chuma, Mokumbo. These are the people found again in Central and Southern Africa. Their totem is given in the Torah there, or in Genesis 49, you find in verse 21, it says Naphtali is a hand let loose that bears commonly found. And you see, they have changed that. Actually, it says he's a gazelle. He's like a gazelle. So we go to Dan. Dan is a serpent. Nyami nyami. Yes, the Danites' most prolific acts or works were to do with the witchcraft. They were great in wizardry, in things of magic. And then we go to Joseph. Joseph is Munyat. When you go to Deuteronomy 33, he is given that he is a wild bull. Munyat. You go to Benjamin, Musokum Kanya. You go to Asher, who are Cyrus, who is rich in food and delicacies. Now, Asher, when you look at Asher, you find that Osiris was buried in a coffin of an oil tree. And then you find that Asher is associated with the oil. And then you go to the back of a place called Maronera, where there is a Mutusina Zita. You also find that in Genesis 12, you find that Adam or Abraham was also associated with the tree with no knowledge, the terebinth tree. That's his totem. He was found within the terebinth tree. I just want to say, if you read the Asherites in Numbers 113 and the Judah Judges 132, you find that the tree which is used to produce oil. So these are the totems and of the tribes of Judah with their archetypes found in ancient Egypt. I want to say a little bit about some of the prominent people that are found in the scripture. So you find like David had one of his greatest men, Hamor, who is also a member of the totem of the wild donkey. And then you find Anna was also in Genesis 36 verse 5 was also of the totem of the wild animal, wild donkey Mutume. Then you find Nahash, who was the son of Shala. It's clear they call him Shobi here, but in Shala or Shaba in 2 Samuel 17:25, you find this is also a Naphtalian. This is Mushal. You find that the Gusi clan of Nigeria and Kenya all carry the same totem in modern times. And you find that Zibion totem was a hyena, Mpunzi, so you find that Nehanda, when we speak about Zimbabwe's liberation, the name Nehanda is prominent. Nehanda Nyakasikana was also of the lion totem because Handa, it means a lion's scar. That's what Handa means. So we want to now come in and say that the rituals or taboos connected to totems. These taboos are that certain totems must not be given to eminent in certain roles. In all thinking and in all general spiritual revelation, you cannot give a Benjamite or Usokom Kanya the title of leading finances of the nation. If you want your finances to be safe, you can't give it to them because their totem is associated with the Soko, who is known as a thieving animal. It's not that they are all thieves, but those are some of the levels or traits that are associated with the Benjamin. And if you want, you find that the people that fought and the people that led the liberation of Zimbabwe were almost the commanders and the top guys who almost gravitate towards the lion totem and great lion totems. Now, I want to continue and give certain totems now that were not necessarily given in Genesis, but given in various places in the Old Testament. And you realize that it's broad, and this is a heritage that we have, whether it be music, whether it be dancing, whether it be running, whether it be working with metals, whether it be religious, political, or rhetorical powers, innovations, inventiveness, burial customs, marriage, or anything that you name that is associated with our culture and sociological heritage. If everything is understood from the baseline of totems, then it makes clear-cut sense. So, some totems that are found in the Old Testament have to do with people like Akbo, which is mouse, Umugonzo. Akbo, one of them, he was a servant of Josiah. You can read that in 2 Kings 22 verse 12. Then you have got a person like Ajga. He was also associated with the falcon, Gondo, and the grandson of Seir. Seir was a high place, and these are associated with Hungwe, a Gondo. But there's also another Hungwe fish eagle associated with the Reubenites. And you read that in 2 Samuel 3 verse 7 about this Seir. Then you have got Era or Yera, who is also associated with the terebinth tree, Mutusi Nazita. And this Era or Yera was the father of Hoshea, or Hushia, or Hosea, who found in 2 Kings 15 verse 30. Then you have got Arani or Aranya, who was also associated with the wild god, and Esau, you know how he would love to hunt. That's in Genesis 36 verse 28. You have got someone who's Vechuru. Now, Vechuru is a very interesting totem because it is a camel totem, not really found in Southern Africa far, but found in Bebas, in our caverns, in the desert. And the camel is known to have that big growth which keeps water. And there were 2 clans or 2 tribes in Israel who had that Vechuru, that camel, the totem. You can read that in Numbers 26. Then you have got Vana Kumare, Ogumale. These were found in there was the Danites called Vana Kumare, or Numbers 18 verse 12. Then you have got Vana Gazamumwe, Deborah, these are associated with the locusts. And then you have got people like Ozivu, Zivu is a wolf, prince of Midian. You find them in Judges 7 verse 25. You have got also Uziza. Uziza was associated with the reptile or snake. And you also find them being members of the Levitical clan. 1 Chronicles 23 verse 11. Then you have got one of the most prominent and very popular prophet Jonah or Jonah. His totem was a dove. You read that in 2 Kings 14 verse 25 or Jonah 1 verse 1. His totem was a dove. Then you have got Jemima. She was also of the totem of a dove. He's a daughter. He was a daughter of Job, which means much more likely that Job's totem was dove. You find that in Job 42 verse 14. You've got Caleb. Caleb, his totem was a dog. These were attributes given to him now, which we call in Shona Chidabo, or some of the praise names or praise attributes given to them. Not really the core totem, but praise. The things that surrounded some of their characteristics. In conclusion, therefore, when we speak of totems, we find that the most primitive tribes, most aboriginal tribes found all over the world, whether they be in South East Asia, whether it be the Asian Americans, they all had totemic symbols. And the totemic symbols are an innate spiritual thing inside of us. Today, we are seeing a plethora of tattoos, piercings, and all these skin markings that we have, which we call Nyora in our culture. tattoos are a spiritual yearning that something has been removed out of humanity by a system. And the people want to connect to that archetype, their hero, the founder of the blood that flows in them, the totemic founder of the blood that flows in them. So when you see some of our brothers from Europe and many other places going for tattoos and going for these piercings, it is a demonstration of the need, spiritual need, mental need, physiological need to reconnect with that original human mind, human blood, human thought, and human feeling. So thank you for listening to us. And we want to say, may that one great spirit, through the elemental spirit of our ancestral spirit buried within our totems and totems, revive us now and reconnect us with our past and push us to guide us into the future. Thank you. Goodbye.